Shalom, 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 my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another end of the week Sabbath class. I'm your brother Ananias.
Brother Ezekiel.
And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And as always, it's an honor, a privilege each and every week that we get an opportunity to come before you to bless you with another edifying and uplifting class. But before we get started, as always, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being His Son, who the world calls Christ, and through His strength, sacrifice, and example, we are all able to be here today to be uplifted and edified in the Spirit. So we appreciate you, brothers and sisters, tuning in as always. And today's mighty class is going to be taught by the mighty brother Ezekiel. And as always, I want to remember to tell our brothers and sisters each and every week to continue to pray for your brothers and sisters before we get started. You know, got to continue to pray for your brothers and sisters. Because in these last days, you know, the Lord gonna turn up the heat. You know what I'm saying? You see what your boy Trump doing. He got the tariff war going on right now, and things gonna start to shake up. That's the Lord turning the fire up right now. But nonetheless, that ain't a situation for our people to be scared of. It's something that we should rejoice in because that's fulfillment of the prophecies where the end times is fulfilling itself. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing that we can really do about it, but do the things that we are commanded to do and sit still and watch the salvation of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But as Israelites, repentant Israelites, our job and our duty is to keep the commandments of the Lord, have the faith in Him that He's going to deliver us and reward us for doing such things. But nonetheless, appreciate you, brothers and sisters, tuning in. This is also the end of the Passover as well. So, Lord willing, you brothers and sisters, learn something from this class. It's going to be a good topic nonetheless. But I'm going to pass it on to you, King.
All right. Thank you, brother. Shalom, everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in for tonight's Sabbath class. Before we get into it, I just want to say a little something about what the brother was saying just then. Like I said, it's the Bible fulfilling itself. Talking about the end times, and as we can see, the scripture talk about how America's allies will begin to turn on her. So we seeing now that Trump then pissed all America's allies off, allies such as Canada, uh, Great Britain, Australia. These were American allies, and a lot of them, the leaders of these countries, have been coming on social media, speaking against the United States, saying that the United States is no longer uh, the friend that they thought they were, and they will look to other ways to accommodate what the United States was doing for them. And the scripture speaks about America allies turning on her. So just let you know, you look at the signs of the time, and you see that the Bible is a true book.
That's right.
Have to pay attention to these things. But tonight's class is called "Don't Be Deceived by the Pill." Don't be deceived by the pill. Uh, what type of pill am I talking about? Not a pill for headaches or body aches. Uh, Talking about a pill that they push on, that they've been trying to push on a lot of our people, uh, encouraging them to fornicate and uh, go against God uh, by breaking the Lord's law or fornication. Uh,
Right.
I watch let's bring out before I get into that, let's bring out First Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18. Cause like I said, he's been trying to get us to go against God's law, trying to get us to break his law against fornication. We're gonna see what he say about that. You got any pre-sale, brother, you want to bring out, feel free to bring those out too.
All right.
This is this is this is a law that far too many of us break, and they know we do that, and they trying to make us do it more. But read that First Corinthians chapter 12, verse 58. I'm sorry, First Corinthians verse chapter 6, verse 18. I'm sorry.
All right.
6 verse 18.
The book of First Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
See that it said flee from fornication. And if you do fornicate, you sinning against your own body. You harming your own body. Uh it don't say run to, it don't say flirt with, it said flee. Like if you walking and stumble upon a snake, you not trying to pet the snake like a puppy. You gonna flee from that snake. Why? Because you feel like it gonna do harm to you. So that's what the Most High is telling us to do with fornication. Because even though at the time you might not feel like it's doing harm to you, but it really is.
That's right.
It really is. Read that one more time.
All right. The book of First Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 18. And it reads, Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
You might not believe that at the time, but of course we know if it's written in the Bible is a true fact.
That's
Fornication,
right.
he that committed fornication sinned against his own body. So we have to remember these things. So like I said, we supposed to flee, but we got our enemies uh going hard in the paint to get us to do the exact opposite. They're not trying to get us to flee from fornication. They're trying to make us run to it by introducing these uh these sex pills or different type of pills such as blue chew or rose spark, uh levita, or, uh, or others, because I'm on YouTube a lot when I'm working to pass the time. I'm on YouTube a lot, and YouTube, uh, whatever you're watching, you're gonna get an ad pop up every so often. And for the last 3 to 4 weeks, all the ads that been popping up on my YouTube feed is about these pills. And what I noticed is they have black people on these commercials. I have seen some few white people, but 95% of the time it's gonna be black people on these commercials. Uh Talking about a blue chew or a red pill or whatever. Take this, black men, black women. And what made me mad is I'm thinking to myself, why are they putting our people on these commercials? They made they purposely tried to make us look as though we already over sexual. Yeah, Esau, uh the male, the white man had already put into their minds that the black man is like a sexual predator. They must worry about us attacking their women because we crave sex. Like that's all we think about is sex. And then you get these these black people on these commercials, and they don't think. I don't know what they getting paid for these commercials, but they don't think uh like I would. That wouldn't cross their mind. Or they don't think like Brother Ananias would, because they not hip to the truth a lot of times. When you come into this truth, you see stuff in a whole nother light. Whereas 10 years ago, I could have looked at the commercial and wouldn't have thought the way I'm thinking right now. So we look at stuff in a whole nother light. And it kind of just made me upset because we are better than them. We are God chosen people. We not just some sex crazed people walking around thinking about nothing but sex. And not only do they have
Right.
advertising all these different type of pills, they have commercials when the women smell a cologne, black women smelling the cologne, and they like, oh, what you think about this cologne? And then she gonna say some off the wall stuff about committing a sex act, just like that, because somebody might smell good to her. Like our women are just so easy, only take a good fragrance, and she gonna give a person uh treat a person as if she was their wife or they were married, or if that was her husband. Only thing he gotta do is smell good, and she ready to do whatever. But they not letting Esau or Moab women. You never. When the last time have you seen Moab on TV ready to commit a sex act because somebody smell good? So that's letting us know what they think or how easy they think it is to get our people on TV on these commercials and say this type stuff. Yet alone these people who saying this stuff, they have parents, they have mothers, they have fathers, these are young women, and they don't even look at the embarrassment where they would be putting on their family for being in these types of commercials. They looking at the little money what they paid them.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time sending a very bad message to our sisters and our brothers and our sisters.
That's right.
And a lot of times uh the men uh go out getting all these pills, trying to impress somebody, not realizing that you're basically tearing yourself down, your body down. Cause a lot of people go get these things and don't even need them. They just done heard about them through a commercial on their YouTube feed and wanna be they curious about it and go get it. And once you get it, if you ever heard the saying you can't miss what you never had. So you shouldn't be even worried about it, because if you're not familiar with it, you don't need it. Don't try it out. But some of these guys go try it out, not needing it, and then once they try it out, they feel like uh they got to have it whenever that time comes, and you mess
Mm.
your body up. So that's why we want to get our brothers away from this, thinking that that's what they have to do. And like I said, the main thing is it put that spirit of fornication in you when you see it. Oh wow, I want to do that. I want to be king of the hill too, and you want to go try these things out. But and you don't even know what the side effects are. Uh, can you bring out that video uh with the side effects of some of these pills?
All right.
And again, when you young and dumb, you don't think about the side effects. You're not thinking about, hey, what you doing if this is not your husband or if this is not your wife, that this is going against the Most High, cause you not learn. So our job is to, once we learn, we know how things supposed to go. What the Most High plan is. We know it's our job every week, more than every week, every day, if we can, to let our people know the truth. I know a lot of people will see this video and they might say, "Them guys tripping. I'm gonna take my pill." Some guys might see this video. I've been taking these pills, and I'm gonna have to stop taking them. I'm gonna have to quit doing what I'm doing because these brothers gave me some knowledge that I didn't have. We'll play that video. This is
You've
the
heard of Rose
video.
Sparks, but if you didn't know,
This is
it's
the
basically
video.
a new male enhancement. It's a red pill. Had quite a few people on TikTok leave me some messages talking about the side effects they got since they've been using Rose Sparks. So watch this video until then. Yeah, some of the side effects guys told me they've got since they've been using this new male enhancement called Rose Sparks is headaches. They said they got a lot of headaches. Also, it said it gave them dizziness. They felt like really sick, and also it's giving them like sick stomach. Now, what I believe that causing the side effects is basically Rose Sparks is almost like Blue Chew. So you're probably going to get similar side effects if you use that anyway. If a male enhancement is giving you headaches or any side effects, that's a sign right there. You don't need to use that male enhancement. It's not safe to use. You should stop using it immediately. If you guys are looking for a male enhancement that's going to give you some really good results with no side effects, I recommend you get what I use. Look at my videos in the comments. There's going to be a link to the website. Go to that website, click it, go to the website, buy the stuff I use. It actually does work. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't to learn more about other male enhancements as well. Guys, I don't know if you've heard of Rose Sparks, but if you didn't,
Right. So it's a headaches and a lot of other stuff, side effects. And he said if you're looking for something that don't give all those symptoms, go to his web page, but don't even go to his web page. Just know that it has very bad symptoms behind them. So don't use none of that stuff. If you're having a problem, you uh get diagnosed and get the right stuff. Don't get none of this stuff talking about mailing to my house. And then also remember that this is only for your spouse or you are married to. This ain't for the girl up the street. This ain't for the girl who work with you. This is for your spouse
Yeah, that's right.
and get you some real medicine if you have them type of problems. Don't get this stuff what they selling giving to you now. And the guy come on the commercial talking about the first month free. Furthermore, trying to entice you, man, I got to go ahead and get it. It's free. Uh yeah, so like I said, they use our brothers and sisters, and that will make us stumble, you know, making us stumble. You trying to keep the law. Sometimes you might be fall weak and while you trying to keep the law and use our own brothers and sisters to make us be a stumbling block to us. So let's see what the Most High say about those stumbling blocks. And we're gonna get Leviticus chapter 19, verse 14. Because we can't have our own people being stumbling blocks to us. We expect the other nation to be stumbling blocks. We don't expect our people to be stumbling blocks. And we have to be smart enough not to be tricked by the other nation when they try to make us stumble. Well, let's get that in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 14.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear thy God. I am the Lord.
See that? And some of us are blind. And the ones who are blind are the ones most susceptible, most easy to stumble by that stumbling block. You know, it's like when a lion gets sick, that's when the other when the dominating lion gets sick, that's when the other male lion feel like he can attack because he's not at his strength. He done stumble, and now he coming to attack him while he down. Now, when it said, read it one more time.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear thy Lord. I am the Lord. Feel like
The
God.
Yes, sir. The deaf and the blind, those are, the one who are wounded. And you got another brother see you wounded, he coming trying to put stumbling blocks before the wounded, the deaf and the blind. We don't need that, you know. And these commercials don't encourage uh men to have sex while being married, but is encouraging people just to whoever to find someone, anybody who willing to be a participant, not your wife, not your husband, just anybody who willing to be a participant. You know, uh, let's bring out that the next video I sent you.
Which one? You went out of order.
Okay, not okay. The very next one. Not I know I went out of order with the first one, but the other one following up. On March 20th. I think it's 7 minutes, 14 seconds.
Is it Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about with Shannon Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It really would have been the first one what I sent.
This there right here have everything hard there, dissolve under the tongue and go directly to the bloodstream. Spark stays active in your system for up to 36 hours. Woo! You get hard without waiting.
You see that? Man said Spark had you hard for 36 hours. Who want to be hard for a day and a half? 36 hours. That's crazy. 36 hours. It says, he said, these pills could have, not saying it will, but it could. So what? It's like you flipping a coin. You don't know what might happen behind these pills. You don't know what might happen behind these pills. Bring out 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 2. Cause you take something like that and you go off 36 hours, you already know what's on your mind. It's one or two things on your mind. You trying to get you some, or you trying to get to the hospital. Only two things that's on your mind. 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
You see that? So you shouldn't be taking these pills to go get with any just any old body, any Tom, Dick, and Harry, any female. It said let every man have his own wife, and every woman have her own husband. That's the way the Most High got it set up, and that's the way we have to follow. Now Shannon Sharp, I don't know if y'all saw how he got famous for this, but about these sex pills. But for the ones who don't know, he was in an act, uh, and like I said, I'm sorry, but this class kind of graphic or whatever. But he was in the act where he was with someone, and he made a mistake and didn't cut his phone off, and you got audio or whatever was going on at that time. And once it came out and people heard everything, that's when he made the commercial. I mean, he made a statement when they were asking him about it, And he was like, I was just on those sparks. And that's how he began to got they the same people with them pills paid him to do that roast spark commercial. He basically was advertising for them, and then when they recognized he was advertising and how much traction they were getting, they paid him to do a commercial. But that's how he got off into that. But like I said, he said they can have you hard for 36 hours, and the brother just read the scripture telling us to avoid fornication, have your own husband or your own wife, because us as men, we are men. We don't want to be around here uh, in that situation for 36 hours, because like I said, sometimes it will lead to something that you don't want to do. Uh, and again, being having an erection for that long is not uh, healthy for your body. Let's bring out the video about that. You know which one I'm talking about? You got a script you want to bring out? Okay, that's something else. Bring out that video, what I gave you, the other video about the.
Uh,
See what I'm talking about?
I don't have a video. I got 2 articles. And then,
Yeah, that was article. You right.
which one?
Next one that was in line from the last one.
Prolong.
Uh-huh. Cause a lot of time, like he said, 36 hours, ignorant brother would be like 36 hours and go crazy. I ain't never been like that for 36 hours. You don't want to be like that for 36 hours.
Prolonged erection. If you have a prolonged, painful erection, seek medical help immediately. What did you want off of this page?
I'm gonna slide it down if I can see it. Keep sliding. No, yeah, the other way. Yeah. Yeah. Hold up. Go back up. Go up some more. That where it started. Thought it had somewhere. Okay, Jake, start back reading where you was at. I tell you when to stop. I thought it was somewhere else.
If you have a prolonged, painful erection, seek medical help immediately because the sooner you get treatment, the better the outcome.
All right. Let's scroll down. There you go, right there. Start right there.
What is priapism or prolonged erection? Persistent, prolonged erection of the penis that will not go down is called priapism.
He's 36 hours, so that would be a persistent, prolonged erection of the penis that will not go down, and it said it's called priapism. Priapism. Read.
All right. This on All right. This unwanted erection is caused by arousal. It is usually very painful and can last for 4 hours or longer.
See that? Now he said it could last up 36 hours. Like that's what you want. Right here said it is unwanted. You might think you want it, but once you get it, it will no longer be wanted. It will be unwanted. Right?
Prolonged erection or priapism uh, occurs before the blood becomes trapped and is unable to flow out.
So you done took these pills and it got you so around now your blood is trapped. It can't flow out. If the blood can't flow out, you will stay erect. Read.
Uh, Want me to keep reading?
Yeah, read.
What are the causes? A prolonged erection is caused by abnormal blood flow, causing the blood to build up. There are different reasons that this may happen, but often the reason is unknown. The most common causes of this is uh, side effect of medicines used to treat ED, sickle cell disease, which involves problems with red blood cell, using some recreational or illegal drugs, rarely some serious disease like cancer or blood disorder that increase the clotting factors of blood, injury due to damage to the arteries that supply blood.
That's it. That's it.
All right.
It said injuries due to damage to the arteries that supply blood to the penis. So that is something that can happen while taking these pills. I almost said medicine, but this is not a medicine. So we have to be mindful and don't jump on everything that sounds good or looks good. Things that look good can be very harmful. You know what I mean? Uh, so we have to realize that, and they steadily making these commercials to influence us. You know what I mean? All right. So now let's bring out that other video. Uh, the next one that was in line: society perception of black male sexuality and masculinity. Excuse me. It says society's perception of black male sexuality and masculinity. And you scroll down to that third paragraph.
All right. Society's perception of black male sexuality and masculinity. To start off, the stereotype of black men being these hyper-masculine, hypersexual animals with a predilection for raping white women has been around since the days of antebellum slavery.
See,
But
they said, oh, that has been around since the days of slavery. We just seen plenty movies where slave movies where they try to uh put the black man in a light that he's a sexual predator and he wants his main objective is to get hold to one of these white women. And that's not always the case.
mm-hmm. Just like they did with King Kong, wasn't it?
Right. Like they did with King Kong. If you watch that movie, you know, the old one what I remember seeing from the 80s, uh, it was saying how the woman they didn't want to leave her out in the jungle with a big black monkey that want to rape the woman. And you had to read between the lines what they were talking about, you know. And the King Kong is a racist movie. And in that same movie from the 80s, I'm gonna go off top for 1 second. In that same movie, King Kong movie from the 80s, uh, at one point, the black people was out there doing their little rituals or whatever they were doing, they sacrifices, and they noticed that a group of uh, white people were standing behind some rocks watching them. And when they noticed them, they came over to them and they saw the white woman and the black men, the black Africans saw that white woman and they was trying to give away 7 black women to the white man just for that one white woman to come with them. And you know what the white man said? Hell no, we don't want them 7 black women for our one white woman. But the black man was so infatuated with the white woman, they were willing to give away 7 of their own women for that one white woman. Why? I don't know. But that's what they were willing to do. But I just wanted to bring that out. But I'm gonna go back to where I was.
All
Read that
right.
time, bro.
It says, but became more prominent after the Civil War. The stereotype was used as one of many justifications for the subjugation of black people in numerous instances of racial violence. The idea was that black people, especially black men, needed to die in order to protect the honor, sanctity, and purity of white women. So while most lynchings had nothing to do with rape, some of them, along with other forms of racial violence, were committed as a result of alleged instances of black men assaulting white women or perceived sexual advances and or interest toward them.
Which was
The Tulsa riot, Rosewood massacre, and the murder of Emmett Till are among the most famous examples.
and and all those examples, 9 times out of 10, it was someone lying on the brother. We are not interested in y'all women like that. We wasn't. But y'all made it seem like we were sexual predators, want y'all women, uh, using that as an excuse to do what y'all want to do with us. That's all that was. And people, go ahead and continue reading. I'll bring some else out when you finish.
All right. The racist and misogynistic need to protect white women from the predatory sexuality of black men is still a sentiment held by those that subscribe to white uh, patriarchal views. Dylan Roof, the man that killed the 9 churchgoers in Charleston, South Carolina back in 2015, reportedly said, I have to do it. You rape our women and you're taking over our country, and you have to go.
You see that?
Wow.
You see that? I have to do it. You raping our women. You're taking over our country, and you have to go. You don't find too many black men trying to rape these white women because, for one, we know the consequences behind it. 2, it just not happening at a high rate anyway. We know if we go rape a white woman, they finna lock us up and throw away the key. That is a deterrent. And it probably not even in our mind to anyway. Read.
All right. While taking the lives of his victims, his use of our women shows a deep-seated need to protect not only white women, but his and other white men's sense of superiority from the predations of black men. It is likely that there are other individuals who sympathize with him on some level.
Oh, it's a bunch of them. It's likely. It's a fact. It's a well-known fact that other people sympathize with him at some level. There's a whole bunch of them.
But while black male sexuality can be seen as a source of fear, it is also often fetishized. So I would be remiss if I didn't take time to talk about one of the modern depictions of these myths about black male sexuality, porn.
Read.
The intended viewers, as
Like
well as the producers, say what?
like I said, the class gonna get a little deep, so just be prepared. That's all I want to bring. Just be prepared. Read.
A little explicit.
That's the word I'm looking for. Read.
It said the intended viewers, as well as the producers of most mainstream porn, are white. You can see this in the fact that straight porn with a white male performer and white female performer is perceived as normal. In the case of interracial porn, black male, white female, however, very rarely is such an interaction considered normal. There is heavy and sometimes subtle emphasis on the fact that the male is black and the female is white. A white woman engaging in sexual activity with a black man is the fulfillment of a fetish, not as an instance of consensual activity where both parties are mutual respectful of one another. This fetishization is most prominent in cuckold porn. While the premise itself, man watching as his wife has sex with another man, is not racist in or and of itself, it has massive racist connotations when the man that the wife is having sex with is black. The idea is that the husband who is white is humiliated and emasculated not only because his wife, who is also white, is unabashedly having sex with another man, but also because the man is black. The black man, while supposedly being this hypersexual and hyper-masculine beast, is also simultaneously a lesser person than the white husband, thus causing the feeling of humiliation. This is why cook is such a popular word in the lexicon of the alt-right.
Okay, stop right there. That word cook, the definition of a cook, C-U-C-K, it says a weak or servile man. Now read that sentence, the last sentence one more time with that word in it. Cook.
This is why cook is such a popular word in the lexicon of the alt-right.
And that word cook is a weak or servile man.
But they called us a beast though. That's crazy.
Right. We the beast. Everything they put on us, they did it more than us 100 times over, 1,000 times over. If you ever,
Mm-hmm.
if you ever hear that, uh, I think Malcolm X, I forgot who wrote it. I think Farrakhan wrote it, and Malcolm X read it at a gathering when he said he charged the white man with being the biggest rapist, the biggest murderer. When they like had the white man on trial, that is true. He is the biggest rapist. He is the biggest murderer. But what do they do? Everything that history showed them, and it's a fact. It ain't something that we have to wonder and guess on. It's a fact. They try to flip the script and make us to be them. Put us in their role. They seem like we the biggest rapists. We don't go around uh wanting to rape white women, but they put their fear out there to their people.
Right. Well, we keep reading, or that's it.
That's it on it. That's all I want.
All right.
And people have to remember, we have to stop. Don't let them put those pills out there in front of us and make us want to jump on them. We have to remember how they used the male was used as a breeder when we was in captivity. The male was a sex stud. He was a stud. He was a stud. They had him. They had us. They pick one of us out who they want to go out and just have sex with as many women as possible to make as many slave babies for them as possible. We have to remember how they did us, and that was against our will. We don't go out purposely being this stud, just want to have sex with any and everything, and get them room to say anything about us. We can't be like that. Bring out the video, brother, about the what his name, Charles McGruder.
Yeah.
Let's bring that out. The article.
All right. This is a Wikipedia article on Charles Magruder. All right. Charles Magruder Sr. was born to Ned and Mariah Magruder as a slave in North Carolina in about 1829. Charles' owners used him as a stud, a human breeder,
A human breeder.
in order to increase their slave population. Charles ultimately became the father to some 100 children and today the progenitor of thousands of people and hundreds of African American men with the surname Magruder or Magruder.
You see that this man who you know have 100 children. That's cruel. They force you to father all these children and you knowing the fate of your children at the same time. These were some evil people. They are some evil people. This man had over 100 children. How many of his children did he have to see die, get whipped, get hung, get maimed, get bit by a dog during his lifetime? At some point, he had to become numb to the fact that this is my child. At some point, he probably didn't even care no more. Because he knew the fate. And so the point with this article is don't be the way they wanted you to be. Back then, that's what they wanted you for. To make babies and breed like you were some type of animal or cattle. Wanted us to breed. And now they coming out with these blue chews and all this. Want us to continue like we must breed like that. They don't have us in chattel slavery anymore. We have to breed or make babies or just have sex with any and every thing just because. That's not our natural way of living. Our natural way of living is we prove a wife, prove a husband, marry them, then begin to be fruitful and multiply. We ain't just trying to smash in and everything like it's smash season. Ain't no such thing as smash season.
Damn.
There's something else on that article?
Nothing more than what you was already getting at.
How many children did this man father?
Let's see. Became the father to some 100 children.
Right.
And the main thing is that this is just one individual. It's several brothers that were used as studs or breeders on the plantations throughout the world. But this was just one brother in North Carolina right here, though.
Right. And I'm finna bring out something else also. And I'm gonna bring it out. But like I said, this class is what the word is you just said, bro?
Explicit.
Explicit. Back in those days, they would have us in what they call a brothel, and they would get some of the biggest slaves, and they would cover everyone's head, all the people, male, female. They would cover your head so you can't see, and they would have you go in and having sex like a big giant orgy. Everybody just having sex. We ain't more slave baby, and they would have slaves in, like the men, you don't know if you been with your sister or your mother or anything, your cousin. They don't want you to know who you with. That's why they cover everybody's head up so you couldn't see. And they say that's where one of the terms come from. MF. That was one that term come from.
Wow.
So we have to know these things. Uh, so we have to. There's no limit to what our enemies would do to us. They had no sympathy, no empathy. Like Scripture said, toward the for the old or the young, it didn't matter.
Exactly.
It didn't matter. They looked at us one thing, any kind of way. I mean, we was there only to be there to do all to what they need us to do so they can get this free labor out of us and get rich. Uh, I'm veering off a little bit, but before when we were slaves, there was no such thing as go back to Africa. If they heard somebody saying go back to Africa, them probably were fighting words for them to hear somebody telling us to go back to Africa. We they bread one. But when we were no longer forced to do what they had us doing, free labor and all that, that wouldn't go back to Africa became one of their slogans. Once they use you till they use you up, and when they use you up, they don't need you no more. But like I said, they try to put this on us like this is a good thing. Present these pills as a good thing, something to make your life more fun or whatever, to keep us in sin. And we have to realize that they know what happens when we in sin. You know, there's a very conniving people, slick people. Let's get the book of Joshua, chapter 23 and verse 13. Joshua chapter 23, verse 13.
The book of Joshua, chapter 23, verse 13. And it reads, know for a certainty that the Lord your God, I started 12.
All right.
Else, if you do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you.
You see that? So we have to be mindful not to be tricked into sin. Because as long as we are in sin, the Most High gonna let them do what they want to us. We can't see no commercial about no damn pill and decide to go fornicate.
Mm-hmm.
It come across, and the young men have to hear this because I know a couple of guys, that's all they talk about. These pills, you shouldn't even be 22 years old talking about all this stuff. These pills, you shouldn't need them. Uh, like I said, if you're not married anyway, we have to abstain from that. You know, if you ain't married, If you ain't married to someone, and you might say, well, that's easy for you to say. It ain't me that's saying that's the Most High saying it. And I ain't perfect. Everybody made mistakes. But once you come into the truth, you got to try to do what the truth say, what the truth tell you to do. So if you're not married, you should abstain from it. Let's get Hebrews 3 and 5.
All right. The book of Hebrews, chapter 3, verse 5, and it reads, and Moses was very faithful in all his house as a servant for the testimony of those things which were
13 and 5. I'm sorry. My bad.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with the things you have. You want 4?
When it said marriage and honorable and all, I might have wrote the wrong one down.
Book of Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
You see that? It said whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. Whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. And you got to think about it. You got people like Easy E, people like Magic Johnson. Magic Easy E, he was a whoremonger. What happened to him? Ananias,
He died AIDS.
judged by God. What the scriptures say?
God will judge thee. But
God,
whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. That's your proof. Magic Johnson. Not only was he a whoremonger, but he was a witch and an adulterer. What happened to Magic Johnson?
God will judge.
He was judged. HIV, both of them. Easy AIDS, Magic Johnson, HIV. Easy's judgment was more harsher for some reason than Magic Johnson. But both of them was judged. Whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. That's true. So that's motivation for you to think twice before you do certain things.
Let me
And
get the book of Job, chapter 31, right quick.
yeah.
Book of Job, chapter 31, verse 1. And this is how you actually steer your mind clear from fornication.
Okay.
You have to be like the brother Job was. This is the book of Job, chapter 31, verse 1. It said, I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? So Job made a conscious decision to say, hey, I'm not going to be lusting after these women. I'm not going to be looking after them, chasing after them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make a covenant with my eyes where I'm not lusting after them, to look upon a maid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they present today. I mean, when you look in society, even in the marketing side of things, when they try to promote certain items to people, you'll hear this slogan come up a lot, or this phrase that sex sells, you know? So what are they doing when they try to market things to people? They'll use sex to sell it, selling it with lust, with a beautiful woman or a handsome man, you know, to advertise certain products, TV shows, movies, whatever it may be, a new car, cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
or alcohol. Get somebody that's attractive to sell it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
And
they're just like I'm pretty sure everybody, most of us have experienced it. When you go to Walmart and you get close to their electronic department, they're gonna have a nice looking woman and trying to sell you some cable or internet service. You know, she gonna be a nice looking woman. They not gonna have just anybody. They're gonna have somebody who they want to catch your eye. So you can stop and have a quick conversation, and hopefully she can make a fool out you with her looks to buy some cable or some internet.
Mm-hmm.
So they use that crafty counsel. That's that counsel. But like we were saying, God would judge the whoremonger. And another thing to bring out what you were saying, what you said, Job made a covenant with his eyes, you said?
Right.
Okay. Bring out Matthew 5, verse 28.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 28, and it reads, "But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart."
See that when God up the ante. Not only you, one way to commit adultery was to actually physically have sex with a woman when you married to another woman. But now Most High said it, whereas if you look at this woman and have those thoughts, you committing adultery. That's why we said when people said the Most High did away with the law, now he came and enhanced them.
Right.
So not only will you commit adultery by having sex with them, but just to be having that frame thought in your mind. My buddy told me, if you ever in a situation and you married and you see a nice looking woman and you lusting over her, he said, in order to stop lusting over her, you look at her and you tell the Lord, Lord, what a beautiful creation. And he said that feeling will leave from over you. Once you tell the Most High he made a beautiful creation, you know. Instead of, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Lord, what a beautiful creation. And keep it moving. And that's it. You got something you want to bring out? Yeah, up there?
No, that was the verse you just called out.
Okay.
I got another precept though.
Okay.
Go to the book of Susanna. This is actually a chapter that, or place where a majority of us don't go majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to Susanna chapter 1, verse 7. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick.
Right. So the name of the class is Don't Be Deceived by the Pill. And this is year 2025. And we got a whole bunch of different type of pills out there. I just named 3 of them, but they got stuff at these little corner stores, Blue Rhino, this and that, honey, all these things. We have to be aware of these things. Uh, a lot of guys want to do all this other stuff, smoke weed and get high, then get the pill. And you just, gonna mess yourself up.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to the book of Susanna, the history of Susanna, chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 7. All right. Now, where it's picking up at is basically Susanna is a sister that she's a righteous sister married to a righteous brother. And her husband, he ended up being well renowned, known in the gates, living in a wealthy manner where all the people used to come to their house all the time. But this is where it picks up at verse 7. Now, when the people departed away at noon, Susanna went into her husband's garden to walk. And the 2 elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her. So here was a sister who was righteous, but a beautiful sister at that. And the two elders, when they seen her, their lust was inflamed toward her. They didn't make the covenant with their eyes as Job did. So when they seen her, they were mesmerized and just inflamed with lust, lasciviousness. All right. And they perverted their own mind and turned away their eyes that they might not see or might not look unto heaven, nor remember just judgments. So they were so inflamed with this woman or lusting after this woman that their mind, their hearts were perverted, where they wouldn't even look toward the Most High, look toward the righteous judgments anymore. Their judgment, everything was perverted about them because they succumbed to the lust of the flesh, basically. And I just wanted to bring that out to show you that when you don't have control over your spirit or over your soul, hey, you'll be perverted in your mind. And you'll turn your eyes away from the Most High. That's what it means right there when it say turn to where their eyes that they might not look unto heaven. They turn away their eyes, they mind from the Lord, nor remember just judgments. So they was going to do whatever they felt was necessary based on how they were moving in the spirit, based on their perversion. You see that? So this is why we got to be careful about where we lay our eyes at and where we actually put our time and mind around, you know, because it will pervert our minds and our judgments and turn us away from the Most High. But that's all I had, King.
Yeah, appreciate that. And like I said, the Most High called us his chosen people, his firstborn. He called us, he said correct me if I'm wrong, he called himself our bride, right?
We the bride.
The bride. Okay. And that's what we have to act like. We can't be around here acting like a bunch of sex craved niggas when we know who we are. And the ones who know who we are, we have to teach our other brothers and sisters, whether they're older or younger. Hey, it ain't all about that. Right now, most of our young people minds is on, and I ain't gonna say most of them, but too many of our young people mind is on. That's all they worried about. Six. Especially the guy, the younger guy,
Mm-hmm.
get peer pressure. And if you got young boys, fathers, mothers, especially you fathers, us fathers, we have to teach our kids that that'll come. And most of all, let them know when it should come. When it should come, they should be married.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tell them that, they might not want to hear it. But as a parent, that's your job to tell them. You know the truth. So it's only fair that you get the truth to your children and anybody else. Get the truth to them, whether they want to hear it or not.
Right.
You could be saving their life. You could be stopping them from catching something that they can't get rid of. Yeah, let's get the book of. We almost finished too. We gonna go to the book of First Peter, chapter 2, verse 10 through 11.
First Peter chapter 2,
Mm-hmm.
verse 10.
Mm-hmm. And 11.
All right. First Peter chapter 2, verse 10. Which in times past were not a people, but are now the people of Yahweh, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul.
See that flesh and lust war against the soul. He said, I beseech you, basically saying, I beg you, I'm asking you with a strong urgency to abstain from fleshly lust, which war against the soul. And it does war against the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do as the scripture is commanding us to do, brothers and sisters. We have to. Now, if you married, husband and wife, it's all good. But if you're not, maybe that's what you need to do. You maybe need to get married. But we're not gonna be around here as though we are these sexual predators or just sexual people, over sexual, hypersexual people, where our enemies tried to turn us to, had us living as by force. Nah, we not slaves no more. We can control ourselves. And you got anything you want to bring out, brother?
Let me go to nah. Just want to encourage our brothers and sisters to continue to do what's required as repentant Israelites. You know, every day that we wake up into this truth, we're supposed to be learning something new and adding it to our arsenal as far as being able to break down the strongholds that plague our people. This is why we're doing this class tonight. You know, the brother felt the need to shed info on the things that are being promoted to our people that's actually not for our benefit, but for our downfall. You know, these pills that they present to us is presented by our enemy. We don't own any labs. We ain't walking around in the damn white coats creating this. You know what I'm saying? This is being promoted to us, you know. And we taking these things at a young age, messing us up in the long run. You know, as the brother stated earlier, we supposed to be fruitful and multiply as a people so that we are not consumed or destroyed. But us following the ways of this world, trying to grab hold of their little gimmicks, is destroying us. You know, the little get quick or get this fast schemes, these things are designed to kill. Taking shortcuts and this and that, you know, it's not put in place to help us at all. You know, folks going out there trying to take pills so they can last long in the bed. You know, you doing these things because you following the ways of fornication, the ways of this world. You
Right.
know, you trying to stand up in it. You trying to not be a minute man to please somebody who gonna be sleeping with another brother down the street a month from now or a week from now. You know, you just trying to build your reputation up for what? For heartache and pain, destruction, as the brother brought out earlier, STDs, all of these different things come from us as a people, mainly the men. This is who is going toward, you know, because they buying these things, they go out, they get drunk, high, and you're seeing all the different side effects, you know, all for what? For 15, 20, 30 to an hour worth of fun, so-called fun, to change or alter the rest of your life, for fornication, for a feeling. We have to think better than that. We better than that as a people.
Right.
We're not recognizing the fact that our enemy label us as beasts, savages, sex crazed beasts.
Mm-hmm.
And they promote it to us and watch us act in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's no wonder why the youth, and we were part of that. We ain't no better. We were part of it. You know, it's no wonder why the youth in every generation is sex crazed, just chasing after women and women chasing after men, because these are the things that are promoted through social media, and before that, the TV, through the magazines, through the stories, through the music. It's no wonder, it's not a coincidence that these things happen on a large scale, and everybody's just trying to have sex, not knowing it's a sensation that will never be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, it's just like playing a game of basketball or something. You know, you get all hyped up to go play, you play, then it's over with. You didn't really fulfill nothing. You just went, had a good time. Now you looking for another game to play. You know, that's why the Lord set it up for you to be with your wife, not chasing around and jumping in and out of different females, and she on different pikes here and there. You know, we got to change our mindset though. But it's on you, King.
Right. And you got to realize the more pills and stuff they introduce to us is the more baby mamas and baby daddies we're gonna have instead of having husband and wife. I would much rather see us as a people, as the Israelites, have mothers, have uh wives and husbands that that take care of kids in the same house instead of uh baby mama, baby daddy. It done got so bad now to a lot of times the police, when they question somebody, they don't ask a black man, is that your wife? Or a black woman, is that your husband? They automatically assume that's your baby daddy or your baby mama.
Damn.
One guy got offended because it actually was his wife. Is that your baby mama? He said, no, that's my wife. And I would get offended too. I don't have a baby mama. I got a wife.
Hmm.
You know, some of us do have wives. Some of us do have husbands. But in their eyes, these people could never be like us and have a husband and a wife, raising a family in the same house. So we have to, like I said, know who we are, know what God's intention, uh, what His intent for us is. Like he said, we're gonna go through a little pain, but He said it's a light thing what He putting on us right now. It's something light. You know, we going through what we go through because of disobedience and the Most High. You just think how powerful the Most High is, and when you really think about it, what He could have done to us, you know, this is a light punishment compared to what He could have done to us. But we don't have to be here if He didn't want us here. So what we're going through is a light punishment. Let's bring out Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
See that? He said, I beseech you, meaning He asking you with conviction again, begging you, brother, that you present your body as a living sacrifice, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Read verse 2.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that
We
ye
got
may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
we have to be transformed by renewing by the renewing of our mind. You see that we have to be transformed that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So that's what we striving to do as a people. Read the scripture, know who you are, and know what you have to do to live up to who you are. Because right now, like the scripture said, these people looking at us like, is this the people who supposed to be God chosen people? You see how they living, you uh see how they living, and you getting these sex pills and acting all as if though they are so sex crazed. Is this God's chosen people? Yeah,
Mm.
we are, but we under some curses, and we've been coming out of them for a while now. And we steadily see, like the scriptures say, the same curse that we under, we slowly but surely seeing the curses coming upon our enemies.
That's right.
And we have to thank the Most High for that. But I just wanted to bring that class out to let you be aware, to don't be too quick to buy into this pill uh phenomenon that's going on. Everybody wanting the Bluetooth, the road sparks. It's not that serious.
They got one called hymns too.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that class out to bring awareness to our people. And you got anything you want to bring out, bro?
Now, once again, just understand that we are in a spiritual warfare on a day in and day out basis. Uh, Satan, these other nations, they are against us at all ends, at all costs, at all angles. So we have to continue to dive into the scriptures to understand what it is that they do and how to prevent it or how to deal with it. You know, knowing that they are set up to make us fall. Like the brother was saying earlier with the stumbling block, their job is to put the stumbling blocks in front of us to keep us from moving to where we're supposed to be, to reaching the kingdom. They want us to stumble on a day-to-day basis. Stumble with the thoughts in your mind, with the actions of your flesh, struggling with everything in life. They want you to stumble on a daily basis so that it's hard for you to find your footing and continue to strive toward the kingdom. They want you to fall off. They want you to fall in the pits, the pitfalls. They want your thoughts corrupted. You know, they want you struggling day in and day out. But you got to understand what's going on and prepare yourself daily, reading, studying, praying to the Most High, crying out to the Lord. Don't just sit back and thinking that watching TV is going to save you or just watching videos is going to save you. You got to put in work. You know, hell, we all got to put in more work at a job to get a paycheck.
Right.
So in order to stay focused, you think we ain't got to put no work in? This is one of those classes to wake us up, but to help us self-examine ourselves as a people as well. But nonetheless, Israel, we appreciate you tuning in each and every week. Lord willing, we'll have another one next week. Lord put it on our spirit, but to keep us focused and keep us going, to keep on with the mission, to labor in the vineyard. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in, and Lord will those who will tune in. I'm your brother Ananias.
Brother Ezekiel.
And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And it's been a privilege and an honor. And we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai for the abundance of all things. But until next time, brothers and sisters, continue to strive for these commandments unto the death, unto strive for truth unto death. Love your brothers and sisters. Pray for your brothers and sisters. But most importantly, love the Most High by doing what he asks and requires of you as an Israelite. But on that note, we say shalom, shalom, peace and greetings to you all, and we out.
No.